So I have a bit of a claim to make here. I think I could have saved Bionicle Generation 2. That might be a little bit of a hyperbolic introduction, but there is something crucially important, and I think you know what it is. Mask packs. How would I handle mask packs for Bionicle Generation 2? Well, there is definitely an argument to be made that mask packs do cost more. For one thing, logistics alone. It's another product to ship. It's another product to plan shelf space around. And though I think you could do something with polybags, let's just ignore that for a minute. Let's think about it like this. What if, instead of mask packs, we had the exact same number of products on shelves in 2015 Bionicle? So we're going back in time. We're hopping in our time machine. I'm just getting ahead of myself. We're going back to 2015. Get ourselves in the mode here. All right, so I go to the store, and I have $10 in my pocket. I can't afford any of the master sets, but I can afford a protector, and you better believe I'm going to be buying one. I go there, and I pick up the Protector of Ice, but things are a little different. We've stepped on a bug along the way, and the timeline has changed. This mask, it's no longer included with the Protector. Instead, we're in the superior timeline, and he is getting 3 masks, 1 golden. In fact, it's going to be the golden Kopaka mask. The other 2, however, well, they're going to be random. Let's say we pull these 2 masks, but they're not these colors. Let's desaturate a little bit. Now they're white, okay? We have the Protector of Ice. We get 2 random white masks of 5. In fact, we never pull this white mask out because it's the Protector of Ice, and that would be redundant. Kopaka still exists in this timeline. So now we have just gotten 3 masks, a brand new golden mask of ice, as well as a white mask of jungle and a white mask of water. Okay, well, where did that Protector's mask go? And in fact, who is our character now? If he doesn't have a Protector's mask, is he even a Protector? Kind of. Here's the thing. When LEGO introduced us to Generation 2 Bionicle, they did not name, at least not at first, the Protectors. And I think that was a weird choice, because the Protectors are sort of like our equivalent to the Turaga, but I've always thought of them more like the villagers of the island. Yes, I know Protector is kind of a role, so you could say both are technically true, but I look at them like the Matoran, and not having names could actually be an interesting thing here. Let's play into that for a minute. We just bought a Protector set, and it has 2 white masks, meaning we get to choose which mask it wears. That's pretty cool. So now my Ice Protector is wearing the mask of water, but in white. The other 2 masks are collectible, and they can just get pushed aside for some other project. And, notably, there's no Skull Spider here. They do still come with the Toa, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. So what do we get instead? Well, this is where things get a little bit interesting. So I have a different product here. Well, product might not be the right word. It comes with each of those Protector sets, but it replaces the Skull Spider. And instead, you get this. And yeah, I darkened it up so you can see the colors a little bit better. This right here would be a sheet of plastic, very similar to the ramps that LEGO makes for Technic Lines and others. And the idea is that this can be folded and folded up like a little hot dog. Simple. Now, you see these 3 masks on here. Now, I know that this is the Protector of Fire version of this piece, but ignore that for a moment. These are all punch-outs, and you punch them out. Each hole that it leaves behind is a slightly different size. You could throw those away, or you could keep them as a collectible, and I think that that's pretty cool as well. Maybe on the back side of them, it has a little extra information about that mask, whatever the case. But down here, you have a little game you can play instead. This game actually relies on the stud launchers that come with each of the Protectors. Note, the Protector build didn't change, sort of, and we'll get to that. But each of those Protectors comes with 12 studs, or 13 studs if you count the extra piece, and so you can use some of those extras to kind of go across this game board. In fact, this can be played with 1 or 2 players, and it's very simple. You shoot a stud through the hole that's marked 1, you get to move that stud 1 space forward. You shoot it through a hole that's marked 2, mark 3, 2 spaces forward, 3 spaces forward, etc. And each version of the game could be played slightly different. You can kind of make up the rules if you wanted as well. But there's more to this. This is a sheet after all, which means it has a backside. Why not make more of it, right? So on that backside, that is where you get your mask checklist, hinting at the fact that, oh, there are more masks. I want to go out of my way and buy all of the white masks, I guess. So the idea here is that A, this can be folded down. These little pleats here help to kind of keep it in that 90-degree form, but also I spaced it out in such a way so that you can actually mount your ice mask on your ice sheet or your fire mask on your fire sheet, etc. And you can even see there's a little bit of extra flavor down here. In this case, flames on this one, but maybe the ice one has ice crystals or whatever the case. It's a simple little change. I think it's so worth it. So here's the thing. Those skull spiders have been taken from us, but not completely. Now, the master sets give us those skull spiders. And in fact, they give us 6 colors, not just 2, not just 3. Lord of Skull Spiders still gives us the mask in gold, and of course later Skull Slicer gives us the mask in silver, which is now exclusive to that set because it wasn't given to us, because each of the Toa sets comes with them in a solid color. It's not random, so in this case, basically, if you went out of your way to buy the Master of Ice, you're not getting any random masks at all. In fact, the 3 masks you would get are these 3. This is where... Ignore that. This is where this mask returns. I like the video so far, so I'm not going to cut that. But why is this mask included with the master set? The idea here is kind of twofold. First of all, at the end of the master instructions, or maybe it's the end of the protector instructions, one of the two, but they basically give you instructions to combine the models. Maybe it was on that online website, actually. Suffice to say, all you basically do is pull the weapon off, sometimes the armor off of the protector, and you add it onto the master, and that's cool, but it incentivizes you to get both. Why not go further and allow the masks to be swapped? In fact, the way I would handle this in the story is that these masters, they're not masters. They arrive on the island, they're not fully trusted because these protectors don't know who they are, and so the protectors task them with proving themselves. Hey, Kopaka, you must go defeat this skull spider, and in return I'll give you something, right? So the skull spider defends the protector mask, you defeat the skull spider, you get the protector mask, you take it to the protector, and the protector can give you the white mask that came with it, or the gold mask. You can make that up from there, right? I think that's actually a really good idea. You still get all of the same masks at the end of the day here. In fact, you technically get more because you get 6 recolors for each of the master masks and for the skull spider mask. But also, it incentivizes you to get, of course, the Toa sets and the protector sets, but also something I left out up until this point is that the protectors, as I've mentioned, they don't really have names, and this could actually be a good thing. What if at the end of the instructions for the master sets, there were just a few other pages dedicated to rebuilding the weapon slightly, or maybe moving the armor around, so instead of the transparent armor being on the torso, it gets moved to the arm, and opaque armor gets moved to the... just to make it slightly different, so that now, when you buy, say, 2 Masters of Ice, as you would likely have to do to statistically get all of the masks, in fact, you'd have to buy more, but we'll get to that here in a second. In this case, you now have 2 different protectors, 2 different Matoran. You have 2 different villagers for this island, each of which is slightly different, but different nonetheless. I think this is starting to go a little bit further to making the story feel a little more deep. I really like this. But lastly, I wanted to talk about something that's probably pretty obvious. So, the master sets, $15 to $20 a piece. I'd change that around with that, fiddle around with that a little bit, but suffice to say, the expensive sets, I guess. While the protectors are a little bit cheaper, but $10 is still a reasonable price for a kid to shell out to be expected to buy all 6 of the protector sets, and then to also want to collect each of the masks in every color. And this is where trading comes in. See, that's what I've been building to. That's the crucial thing that I think LEGO forgot about. Generation 2 Bionicle is honestly lambasted for its lack of advertising. And I believe that that's true. But what is a better form of advertising than word of mouth? And trade is nothing more than word of mouth advertising. If you are incentivized to not just buy a set, but to now collaborate and build a community with other creators who now have the same sets you might, and say, hey, I want to trade you these pieces, you're incentivized more to not only go out of your way to buy more, but to complete a collection through those connections. All this would cost for LEGO is the extra pennies it would take to make extras of these masks in other colors. And I mean pennies. Here's the thing. Recolors don't cost that much to make. The molds cost a lot, but we have all the molds here. I'm not introducing new masks, just recolors. And if LEGO was going to include 2 masks with a protector, or 3 masks with a protector, honestly, it doesn't cost them basically any more. Not enough to change the amount the price would be on the shelf, for sure. So why not try? It gives each of the sets a little bit extra utility, and honestly, you don't even have to go out of your way to collect all of the masks. You might have a favorite color. Dark Azure is gorgeous. So getting multiple masks in that color would have been pretty cool. Same with dark orange, bright green, all of the colors, honestly. But this is just one other way to make sure that if LEGO can't go out of their way to advertise these sets, well, you can do it for them. Word of mouth advertising is pretty crucial. And it's honestly a secret weapon that I think more companies should take advantage of, even big companies like LEGO. In 2015, LEGO had like 1 billion different themes on the shelf, probably far more than they had back in 2001, though I don't know. And so something to help it stand out, not just from Hero Factory, which it replaced, but also to stand out amongst even those other themes, like collectability, like this, like the incentive to not just make sets, but to crossover, to combine, to change, to blend sets, and even encourage it in the instructions themselves, showing you subtle but different ways to build each set, even if that had to be relegated to the internet. And the internet is also a good place to advertise, so why not build in more games, more media, multimedia, in fact. Yes, there was a TV show to a degree, and that wasn't enough. I think this could have been far better, and it's definitely something that could be continued into other waves. Having polybags with exclusive masks is cool and all, but I think that they were so close. Here's the thing. In my opinion, Generation 2 Bionicle, and this is before I end the video, but Generation 2 Bionicle was at its peak at the beginning, and that's not a good sign necessarily. There are absolutely things I would have changed later, and that's going to be a different video, trust me. But in this one specifically, just the fact that you have time to kill between Wave 1 and Wave 2 by combining your sets into Kaita or combination models, whatever, or into Rahi, etc. How important is that? How much of an oversight was that? That's one of the strengths, I think, of 2001 Bionicle, is not just that we had this island that was completely mysterious to us, that we knew basically nothing about other than the fact that it was an island paradise somewhere, but we had time to kill between releases. 6 months is a long time for a kid. And to see sets like the Toa going up against the Rahi, giving us something to build between them, not just the Toa combination models, not just the Turaga combination models, hell, even the McDonald's toys had combination models, but also Rahi within those as well. It gave life to our new world that we were found in. And if Bionicle Generation 1 can trust us to hand 18 different character names in 2001, plus the Rahi combination model names, plus the Rahi combination model names, just give us more. Trust us. Put your faith in us. We'll carry you. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe because the algorithm is a crazy beast. Speaking of Rahi. And it also, just helps the channel grow. And on top of that, of course, if you want to join in on the conversation, let me know your thoughts. I think the smartest thing LEGO can do, really any company can do, is insert collectability into their toy. That's just obvious. That's like marketing 101. But anyway, with that being said, you can also join the conversation in the Discord, Instagram, or Patreon if you want to support the channel and help what it is I do here. And I will see you all in the next one. Those will be linked in the description. Take care.